It's pretty safe to say that, aside from a few big hits and critical darlings, TV is struggling going into 2026, and we suspect these new shows, some of which are also old shows, aren't likely to save the medium. Can you catch lightning in a bottle twice? That's what the creators of Scrubs are hoping to do, resuscitating the 2001 NBC medical comedy with the three original leads, Zach Braff, Donald Faison, and Sarah Chalk, all returning. John C. McGinley is also coming back as fan-favorite authority figure and antagonist Dr. Cox, and Judy Reyes is reprising her role as Carla. Everyone else is new though. SNL alum Vanessa Bayer is joining as a character named Sibby. A whole bunch of other new actors are joining as interns under the tutelage of the leads. That sounds potentially fun, but here's the thing. They tried this before. The series was getting a little long in the tooth by its 9th season, and core cast members were starting to leave. So Scrubs essentially became a spin-off of itself, bringing in a whole new cast of medical students to learn from the leads, who only appeared in some of the episodes. It proved to be the last season of the show. There's maybe some reason to believe this new attempt at doing essentially the same thing might have a bit more of a chance. Braff, Faison, and Chalk are presumably in all the episodes, and there's more of a nostalgic appeal. But the magic of the original Scrubs will be hard to recapture.
What's your exit strategy? I haven't really thought that far ahead.
People are gonna say, no, I don't want no scrub. A scrub is a reboot that can't get no love from... No, I'm not doing that anymore. I can't believe I even just did that, to be honest. In its first run, Malcolm in the Middle lasted 7 seasons starting in 2000. Like most sitcoms that focus on the kids in a nuclear family, the kids got too old to be cute anymore, and it came to an end. Frankie Muniz, who played the title character, pursued his movie career, while Bryan Cranston, who played the goofy dad, Hal, shifted gears and changed TV forever as Walter White on Breaking Bad.
I was this world-class chemist, and I cooked and I sold this ultra-pure methamphetamine.
You cooking anything?
Cranston's return to slapstick dad comedy may generate some initial interest from fans of his later dramatic work. But overall, this project reeks of a modern-day version of those Brady Bunch reunion shows and movies. Seeing the kid actors from a beloved show all grown up and trying to do the old shtick again, it's just kind of a bummer, really. Yeah, Fuller House ran for a few seasons, but that was maybe the exception that proves the rule. Interest dropped way off after the initial push. At least Lifestyle and Fair is only 4 episodes on Hulu. Hopefully they won't overstay their welcome. To be very clear from the start, we love Star Trek. We want Star Trek shows to succeed, but aside from Lower Decks and Strange New Worlds, both of which are now either over or ending, the pilots at the helm of the franchise right now seem dead set on making stuff that doesn't feel like classic Star Trek. From what we've seen so far of the Paramount Plus series, Starfleet Academy, it's Star Trek with a CW-style teen drama coat of paint. And that seems like a recipe for frustration. A show that isn't quite the space adventure you want from Star Trek, and probably isn't quite the angsty drama you want from, say, One Tree Hill or 90210. If nothing else, maybe the star power that the show is launching with will help. Holly Hunter seems to be locked in for the long haul as the Academy's chancellor. Paul Giamatti's villain, Noose Braca, will definitely inject some energy when he's around. And hey, it's nice to see Robert Picardo back as the holographic doctor from Voyager.
If we could avoid another direct hit, that would be super helpful.
Even so, our sensors aren't picking up encouraging readings. Once the show has to settle into focusing on the young cadets learning how to live, laugh, love, and lift off as Starfleet officers, we don't suspect that this one will be flying at Warp 9. We hope we're wrong here, though. No, you're not experiencing deja vu. Wonder Man, a Marvel Disney Plus miniseries, was on our list of shows we predicted would flop in 2025. And then it did not get released that year. We know for sure this time that it's hitting the streamer on January 27th, 2026, and our hesitations remain the same. Wonder Man follows actor Simon Williams, played by Yahya Abdul-Mateen II, as he tries out for a remake of a movie about the title superhero. Assuming the story follows the comics, he'll eventually become a real superhero called Wonder Man. Ben Kingsley also returns as Trevor Slattery, a move that's sure to divide fans. The kind of meta-narrative the show is looking to tell often works great in comics, but for a streaming TV series hoping to draw in a large mainstream audience, it's pretty inside baseball. The instances where Marvel has kind of, well, gone up its own butt in recent years haven't fared well with fans, and that kind of seems like what this is.
Everyone is tired of superheroes.
Even Marvel appears to see the writing on the wall. In an interview with Entertainment Weekly, Brad Winderbaum, the head of Marvel TV and animation, basically admitted Wonder Man is one season and done unless it's a surprise hit. He said, "Season 2 could be on the table if people watch." If it's the only Wonder Man story, it really stands on its own as a beautiful piece. If you've never heard the writing term hat on a hat, it's a shorthand way of saying a premise or idea is too many things at once. And the logline for Memory of a Killer, the new Fox thriller starring Patrick Dempsey, is hats stacked on hats. The version on TV Insider reads, a ruthless hitman leading a double life begins losing his memory to early onset Alzheimer's just as his wife's suspicious death and threats to his pregnant daughter force him to unravel a deadly conspiracy from his past. That's so many things. Dempsey is a compelling enough lead actor, and the rest of the cast is great. Gina Torres and Michael Imperioli are excellent additions to any project, but we're not sure they can even give this premise the juice to last more than a season. The show is actually based on a Belgian movie, The Alzheimer Case, which was pretty well received when it came out in 2003. There's also an American remake starring Liam Neeson, 2022's Memory. It was not so well reviewed. The concept does seem more suited to a movie than a show, to be honest. We can just imagine viewers turning into Memory of a Killer and thinking, wasn't Liam Neeson in this? Before getting lost in all the tropes and dipping out. Another movie premise stretched out into a full series, The Burbs on Peacock, hopes to rekindle the spark of the 1989 Tom Hanks dark comedy of the same name.
I'm going over the fence, and I'm not coming back till I find a dead body.
Keke Palmer is always a welcome presence, and the rest of the cast is full of comedic heavy-hitter character actors, including Paul Appel and Mark Prush. But can even they stretch the idea for a 100-minute movie that was a moderate hit into a successful full season of TV?
So are we gonna go in?
Do white ladies love salad? Hell yeah, we're going in.
The show at least appears to be a legacy sequel to the film, which was about Hank suspecting his suburban neighbors of being killers. The show focuses on what sure looks to be those neighbors' now long abandoned house, which Palmer and some other members of the community suspect is filled with deep, dark secrets. It also seems to be throwing a little bit of the true crime craze in, like an Only Murders in the Building set on a cul-de-sac. But how badly do we need one of those, tied to an enjoyable but mid-tier movie from nearly 40 years ago? Plenty of British television shows have been adapted into American series with great success. Ghosts is still going strong, and of course, The Office was a phenomenon, but we're not sure the new Fox series, Best Medicine, is going to carry that torch. It's a rework of the long-running UK series, Doc Martin. Oh, I love Doc Martin, that's a great show! Which you may have seen if you're the type to watch the highfalutin British programming that airs on PBS. I Quit. In both shows, a surgeon from a big city, London in the UK, Boston in the US version, has to move to a small fishing village and become the local general practitioner. And wouldn't you know it, he hates the small town ways of the people who live there.
Then pull up your trousers and go away.
Doc Martin was a snapshot of the particular British divides between classes and regions at a particular time. The show started back in 2004. The US version seems to just rubber stamp all of that onto the northeastern US, and it doesn't work like that. Among other things, it seems to make Josh Charles' version of the lead character completely unlikable.
Admit it. You're starting to like it here.
Release me, please.
There may be a way to turn out of the skid. The Office considerably softened Michael Scott after he was initially a little too much like his harder-edged British counterpart, David Brent, but it'll need to happen quickly to save this one. We're always rooting for Tracy Morgan, but his new NBC sitcom, The Fall and Rise of Reggie Dinkins, feels a little undercooked, at least for now. Co-created by 30 Rock alums Robert Carlock and Sam Means, it focuses on Morgan as the title character, a former football star whose career ended in disgrace. He's hoping to rehabilitate his image with the help of a documentary filmmaker played by Daniel Radcliffe. According to the NBC website, Reggie will have to confront the ghosts of his past. The show also stars Erica Alexander as Reggie's ex-wife and Bobby Moynihan as one of his old teammates, one of the few people who's still loyal to him. As of the making of this video, there's no trailer for the show yet. Maybe we'll muster up some hope that there'll be lots of laughs to come once there is one. But for now, the idea of Tracy Morgan playing someone who's haunted by past mistakes, it doesn't seem to be playing to his strengths. Not to insinuate he can only play one type of character, but Tracy Jordan on 30 Rock never regretted anything, not even.
This hunky grandma be tripping!
It's been a weird couple of decades for primetime game shows. A lot of them have just been primetime versions of classic shows. Jeopardy, Wheel of Fortune, Press Your Luck, and so on. And then there are the big, super dramatic ones like The Floor or The Wall. But no matter what the concept, the idea of a game show is usually to see someone be the best at something. ABC's new game show, The Greatest Average American, seems to be looking for the most regular person it possibly can, though. Or at least people who can guess what average people are like. It will be hosted by comedian Nate Bargatze, who has a comedy special with the same title, as ABC describes the show. Each round is packed with laugh-out-loud challenges and trivia as contestants try to guess how everyday Americans think and live. We don't quite know what that means, but would have to imagine it's at least somewhat different from Family Feud, where contestants guess what the most people said in a survey. We do know the prize, though, the average American annual salary of $67,920. Nothing wrong with being average. Who wouldn't turn down almost, well, hang on, let's do the math. So they filmed this in California, so you have to pay the tax there. So that's $10.99. So if I'm doing the math right and converting from pound sterling, that's going to take out about 16,000 or so American. But still, 50 grand for one night isn't too shabby.
Could you pay me in advance?